Morning everyone, and welcome to the final week of this coffee and card using the Waves of Inspiration stamp set and dies, which are here, and today I'm using Bermuda Bay and Night of Navy to make this gorgeous card that was actually inspired by a lady called kimplayswithpaper.com. So I saw this layout. I've had a really busy month this month. I've got children coming up for exams and things like that, so my mojo was lacking somewhat. So I've been on the Pinterest boards for inspiration, as I said. If you want to have a look at this card, it's on kimplayswithpaper.com is where that idea came from. Oops, that's been on there too long. So here we go. So this time, I think she actually stamped the pelican and the wave on the circular card, but I actually decided to die cut my pelican out because I think it just brings him forward a little bit, and I quite like that. But otherwise a lot of it is very similar to what she did. So I think I've got a horrible feeling the folder that I've used on the embossing is the bark folder, and I've got an awful feeling that has been discontinued, unfortunately. Although keep your eyes out on the clearance rack, because often these things do come up on the clearance rack if they've got any stock left. Talking about stock, I ran out of Bermuda Bay, which this one is, so I'm actually making this one out of Coastal Cabana. So similar but much gentler colour. I always think the Coastal Cabana, but I think we'll get the same effect. I feel an order coming on for some more card. So it's just basically a layering card, so we'll work up from the bottom. So I'm starting with a basic A4 bookfold card length, and this one is 0.5 centimetre smaller. I've always thought the bark one looked more like waves than it looked like bark, so it's been watering a lot of my cards. So I'm just going to add the embossing folder. Now, with the irregularity of an embossing folder, I do use a little bit more glue to make sure that it sticks down. Okay, and I'm just placing that on the front and positioning it in the middle just to give the card some texture. There we go, and then we've got another piece of Designer Series paper. So, let me see. Decisions. I think I prefer it that way up, and I've just had a little thought that although I've got the Night of Navy foil on this one, which does look really nice, I think I've actually got some Coastal Cabana. Just bear with me a minute while I go and cut some Coastal Cabana. I'll be back shortly. I'm back, and I was right. It does come in Coastal Cabana too. So I'm actually going to replace the Night of Navy with the Coastal Cabana foil. So hopefully you managed to get hold of some before it all disappeared, because it is really beautiful. Okay, so let's stick these bits on. Glue, 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 glue. And I've just stuck the background on flat, but then I'm going to be adding the circle and the sentiment actually on dimensionals, and this is just in the sort of towards the top and towards the left hand side, so that you've got space both below and to one side. So I'll get my circle so that I've not stamped it. So I'm just going to position that where it's going to go, which is roughly there. So I'm going to want my Coastal Cabana to stick out a bit. So I'm going to roughly leave about 1 centimetre on that side. So let's stick this down too. So this one I've gone tone on tone, whereas that one is more contrasting. That's it. Okay. So, and when I do these cards, you know, you don't have to follow me exactly. I'm the same in class, to be honest. You can, I do like it when people put their own spin on things. Although not yesterday, because we were making boxes yesterday, and you really do need to follow the instructions on those, as people found out the hard way. So that's going to fit on there. So just got a little bit of glue on there. Let's just get my cloth and see if I can squizzy that off. There we go. And then I've not got long sleeves. I'm just going to dry that with my top, the bottom of my top. There you go, you didn't see that. You do have to be very careful with foil. It's not very forgiving if you get any fingerprints on it. So that's now ready for my wave. So again, Stamparatus. You can use, I mean, you do need to have the very big block to use this with a block, so it really does need a Stamparatus. I think, will it fit on this one? No, it really is this one, which is so big I can hardly get it out of nothing. So you can imagine that's quite heavy. The other way you can do it is to actually lay it flat and put the stamp on top. So if you don't have a Stamparatus, I can show you on this. Right, so we just see to the pants time now. So I didn't rehearse this bit. So what I've done, because it's quite a big stamp, so it's really quite difficult, sometimes the best thing to do is actually put it flat. So I'm not even going to put it on a block at all. So, and I'm going to get out the Bermuda Bay ink, which I've lost. Here it is. So this is the Bermuda Bay ink. And what I'm going to do is gently ink up this stamp. I've got somebody coming in. Who's coming in? It's Sydney. Hi Sydney. I'm nearly finished. I'm on my last video. Right, so I'm just going to ink that up, and then I want most of the curl of that wave on my circle. So what I'm going to do is take the circle and I'm just going to place it on the curve of the wave. So gently down like that, and then I'm going to get a smaller block and just tamp that down without moving it, obviously, because you don't want it to move. Okay, so it can be a bit messy, but there you go. See, I've got my wave. Now the other thing I've not got, you notice it's white there, and I noticed that as well and thought, what am I going to do? So in the Stamparatus, I reloaded the circle and moved it so it would go onto the bottom bit of the stamp. But what I'm going to do this time is, I can see that's where the line is. The line itself is going to be covered, so I'm just popping that on there and just pressing it down. Okay, so it's not the cleanest of ways of doing it, but you can do it if you don't have a massive block and you don't have a Stamparatus. Although, to be fair, if you're just starting out with stamping, buying a Stamparatus is cheaper than buying all the blocks. So it's worth a think. And of course, if it'll fit on a little box, it'll definitely fit on a Stamparatus. So there we go. So that's how you do it without the big, massive, heavy block. Okay, so, and then I need my crane. I'm doing it again. I've done really well. So, where's my little pack of die cuts? Gone. Here they are. So again, I've die cut my sentiment, and I have lost my crane. Where's my crane? Paper crane, just a bit to cut it out of. I'll cut it out of. Just bear with me a second. Again, more editing. So I'm actually going to cut this out this time. So I'm going to stamp my crane onto here, and then I'm going to die cut it. Okay, so we've got our Night of Navy here. He just fits nicely on this strip of paper. And then keeping the Night of Navy out, we're going to do Happy Birthday on this. And then I'll pop off and do a little bit of die cutting. So again, it's a bit like the birds on this one. You've got to be careful not to catch the edge of the stamp because it's such a small one. So I'm checking it's the right way up. Of course, it doesn't actually need to be because you can turn the label round if it's not. So that's as straight as I'm going to get. There we go. Happy with that. Right, so just excuse me for a second. And there's my cut-out crane, the magic of television, etc. So what I'm going to do here, because I do think I had it a bit too low down. As I say, it is easier to stamp and then line it up. So I'm just going to fussy cut round the bottom of this. There we go. Okay. And we're going to build this up. So as you can see on this one, actually the Happy Birthday is going to go over where we did the extra stamping of the sea. So, and I keep calling it a crane. The puffin. You're all shouting pelican at me through the magic of television. So I'm going to pop the pelican onto the circle using some glue. She says. Should get the end off. There we go. A little dot at the top. There we go. And I'm just going to put the pelican in the middle of the circle. Okay. And then using some mini dimensionals, I'm going to add the Happy Birthday. Actually, I'm going to use the bones again. I've used a lot of bones in this one, haven't I? So the edges of the dimensionals. So don't want them that far actually because it hangs off and you don't want it to curve onto the card. You want to stamp proud of the card. So just in the middle, comme ça. Okay, and just so it covers up where you did that extra stamping, just adding that, and then with the whole dimensionals, covering up your inky mess on the back. There we go. Oops, extra one in the middle. And then just taking these off, and I'm just going to pop this onto the card, and that's it. We're finished. So that's the whole of May done. Can't believe it's nearly June. This year does seem to be whizzing by somewhat. Okay, and then I'm just popping our little bird just off to one side there, and then I've got you'll have used some of yours. Every time I've done a video, I've not been able to find these little strip of gems that I popped in your kits, but I just thought we'd finish off with some of the now you see I use Coastal Cabana because we're on the Night of Navy. I think I might actually use some of the Night of Navy on the Coastal Cabana if I can get it onto said poker tool. So I'm going to pop that one there, another one down the bottom, over here, and then I think I'll put one of these light blue ones over by the sentiment. There we go. I went really off piece there. I've put 4 on, which is not like me, because that would be an even number, and we don't do even numbers, we do odd numbers. So I'll put that one there, and I think I will have another blue one over here too, sparkling in the water. There we go. So that's the 4th and final card of the Waves of Inspiration card set. All that's left for you to do now is to glue your inside in, and then you're finished. So how beautiful are they? So Bermuda Bay with its white hanging out. Pop that out. So we've got the Bermuda Bay is the darker one, and then the Coastal Cabana is the lighter one. So you can always make yourself another one of those if you wanted to in the Coastal Cabana. So take care. Oh, sorry, my iPad's going nuts. Take care, and I shall see you soon. Bye.